They were one win away from everything, a single night separating glory from regret, and yet the response from Toronto's front office was almost unnervingly calm. No victory laps, no chest-thumping declarations, just a quiet message humming beneath the noise. Getting close is not the same as finishing. When you really sit with what the Blue Jays have done this offseason, the feeling is strange and powerful at the same time, like a storm that refuses to announce itself until it is already overhead. On one side, the moves were heavy and unapologetic, expensive decisions made with a steady hand rather than a shaking one. On the other, there was an absence that still lingers in the clubhouse and echoes through the stands. And that is where a name enters the conversation that feels, at first glance, far too modest to carry so much expectation. Jojo Romero. Yes, a reliever, but not just any reliever. A left-hander with a 2.07 ERA. 29 years old, battle-tested, and perhaps the final screw missing from a machine designed to survive October. The news itself arrived quietly, almost shyly. The Blue Jays have been linked to a potential trade with the St. Louis Cardinals for Jojo Romero, a suggestion floated by Zach Presnell of St. Louis Cardinals on SI. Nothing confirmed, nothing finalized, just that dangerous phrase every baseball fan has learned to respect. It makes sense. And whenever something makes too much sense in this sport, there is usually a hidden cost waiting patiently in the shadows. Before we get there, it is important to understand the landscape. Toronto is not improvising anymore. They entered this offseason as American League champions, and that changes everything. The bar rises, mistakes become louder, pressure arrives before the first pitch of April has even been thrown. The response was immediate and intentional. Dylan Cease, 7 years, $210 million. Not a flashy marketing acquisition, but an October arm, a pitcher who does not blink when the lights burn brightest. Soon after came Kazuma Okamoto, 4 years, $60 million, a calculated addition, Japanese talent with immediate offensive impact and flexibility. This was not a blind gamble, but a carefully measured decision. And still, even with those additions, Toronto lost Bo Bichette, a star shortstop, a pillar, the kind of player whose value lives in the small details you only notice when they are gone. Communication, routine, quiet leadership. His departure to the Mets left a gap that statistics alone cannot fill. To compensate, the Blue Jays reinforced the area where October games are most often lost, the bullpen. Tyler Rogers, 3 years, $37 million. Yimi Garcia's replacement in spirit, followed by another steady arm on a 3-year deal. 2 pitchers, different profiles, one shared purpose. Do not let the game slip away before the 9th inning. And yet, anyone who watched the last postseason closely knows that something still felt unfinished. This is where Jojo Romero becomes more than just a name on a rumor list. In 2025 with St. Louis, Romero appeared in 65 games. He was not hidden in low-leverage moments. He was trusted. His 2.07 ERA stands out, but so does the context around it. A 1.25 WIP, 8 saves, 24 holds, and just 1 blown save all season. That last number matters more than most realize. A blown save is not just a stat, it's the exact moment when a stadium exhales in disbelief. Romero rarely allows that moment to exist. He's not a strikeout artist designed for highlight reels. His strikeout rate will not dominate social media, but he's the pitcher who comes in, solves the problem, and leaves without applause. Championship teams crave that profile. Add the fact that he's left-handed, and his value quietly multiplies in short series filled with dangerous left-handed bats. Naturally, the uncomfortable question follows. If he's this reliable, why would St. Louis trade him? This is where the romance fades. The Cardinals are not desperate. They're not publicly rebuilding. Any deal would require Toronto to pay a meaningful price. But Toronto is operating inside a clear window. Cease did not sign for 7 years to wait patiently. Okamoto did not cross an ocean for a lukewarm project. This is a win-now team, and win-now teams exchange future comfort for present certainty. Picture the fit. Cease exits after 6 dominant innings. A right-hander handles the 7th. The 8th arrives with 2 dangerous left-handed hitters due up. Romero takes the ball. The 9th belongs to the closer. Suddenly, the game feels shorter. the manager breathes easier. That confidence never appears on a stat sheet, but it wins championships. Analysts have already taken notice. Jim Bowden of The Athletic graded the Blue Jays offseason as an A and projects them to win the American League again, and that's without Romero. With him, the margin for error tightens even further. There is no such thing as a perfect bullpen, only a prepared one. October doesn't test your best plan, it tests your backup plan when everything goes wrong. Romero is that plan, quietly waiting. If you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure to like the video, share it with fellow fans, and subscribe to the Blue Jays Report for more in-depth analysis like this. Because whether this trade happens or not, it tells us exactly how Toronto is thinking. Not about April, not about June, about October. And when the answer finally arrives, it won't come with speeches or headlines. It'll come in silence, the kind that only champions know how to create.